What is up, you guys? I am answering a question from Life on the Road, and she wanted to know a couple of things about traveling and my opinion on a couple of questions, and I'm going to answer those right now. So let's get into it. So the first question she had is, do I find that techs are valuable in the field as a traveler? And I believe she wanted to know, like, from my perspective coming in, do I see techs that are full-time, that are valuable, and their scanning abilities? No. I'm finding that they're accepting a lot more new grads, and the new grads are pretty much kind of running the ultrasound department, which is kind of odd to me, but to each his own. I struggle sometimes when I come into departments and I'm scanning with someone just graduated 6 months ago versus someone who graduated a year and a half or 2 years ago that has more logic, more understanding, that's capable of doing the job proficiently, and, is able to do the job also with knowing how to scan the patient, bring the patient back, knowing how to scan the exams that they're scanning. No, I'm struggling a little bit with that, and I've been to a couple of sites recently that, looking at this is not funny for the patient's sake, but this new grad tech who's been working now for 6 months, haven't worked under anybody. She just pretty much did her externship and then graduated and then started working. Now, I'll blame some of that on the traveling, the owner of the traveling company, because they shouldn't be sending out new grad techs if they don't really know what they're doing. But she did a DVT, and she called like fat in the area around the vessel, non-compressible, and so I had to call the patient back and rescan because the radiologist questioned it. So and then I found that she didn't take any images of compression views, and I found that to be odd, and so I kind of schooled her on certain things that she need to do moving forward. You don't never want to scan a DVT and not show that you didn't do compressions, and not show that you didn't do compressions all the way through the pop before you do any color, any augmenting, any Valsalvas. So that was, just a schooling thing that I had to teach her. So this is stuff that I'm finding that techs are coming out that I'm working with that are not fully able yet to work independently as a full-time traveling tech. Because as a traveler, you have to be able to walk into the establishment, and if they say, hey, go do this patient, you should have no problem just going in and hitting the beat. Like, that's what we're for. That's how they utilize us. We may walk in first day and have a full schedule. There's no time for training or what have you, and you just scan the patients and they'll do your paperwork. It just depends on where you're working and how they run their structure, but don't be surprised that if you walk into a traveling assignment and be hitting the beat as soon as you get there. The other thing she asked was, what was it? She asked, no, hospitals are not willing to pay full-time techs what they pay traveling techs. Traveling techs is a perk, and that's why they have an allotted account for traveling, and so they have an allotted amount for traveling techs to pay. So that may be $16,000 for me to come into your establishment and pay me that much, versus paying a full-time tech $35 an hour or $30 an hour or $40 an hour. And you'll find that a lot. They'll rather pay a traveler to work versus a full-time tech. because they have that money set aside. They don't have that money set aside for a full-time tech, because as a full-time tech, you have to remember they're giving you benefits. They're paying for your 401k. They're paying, they're putting money towards that. So they kind of break it down differently. As a traveler, you're under the company that you're traveling under. So your company gives you the insurance and things like that, your medical insurance, 401k. I think some of them do offer 401ks too. Now, I will say that as a traveler, you get a stipend, a weekly stipend. I just had a job offer on the table. It said $3,000 a week. Well, $35 an hour, but they give you $1,600 that is not taxed a week extra in your pocket. And that's the stipend that you should find your housing on. The extra money that's made in your pocket. The $35 an hour is taxed, but the $1,600 that you're making on top of the $35 an hour, whatever you do, is not taxed. So that's how they get around that. Rather than paying for your housing, giving you, a per diem, giving you, giving you, a stipend a week, things like that. They break it up differently now that I'm finding. I don't like it, but it puts more money in your pocket. You had to find your own. So it would behoove you to find a place that you have a family member you can stay with, find an area that you want to travel to, that friends, maybe, do an Airbnb, things like that, that will cut costs. And so you could keep more of money in your pocket as you travel. But also, I'm sitting outside. Can't you tell? I'm sitting outside my house and I'm doing this video. Sorry for the interruption. Sorry for the noise, but it's such a beautiful day out here and I have not been outside in a while, so I'm enjoying it. The other thing is, you wanted to know if hospitals are willing to negotiate with an independent contractor or negotiate their pay rates. Some of them are. So you will, if you have to shop around, but some hospitals will, do the whole contract thing, just cut out the middleman, and just give you a higher salary versus paying for traveling, airfare, and all that. So they might say, okay, well, we want you, but we're going to give you $75 an hour, and then you find your own airplane ticket, you find your own way to travel, you find your own way to your booking for your hotel, your housing. So definitely shop around, definitely, negotiate your offer. I have a video on how to negotiate such things. I have a recruiter that negotiates my prices for me. And I find it very fair of the price that I'm getting paid. And that includes my mileage in my pay. So go figure. But yeah, definitely shop around. Definitely look at different hospitals that you want to travel the area to, and call them and say, hey, I'm an independent contractor. I'm an ultrasound tech. I'm interested in coming to your establishment if you guys need covering, and go from there. Call the lead tech and see if you need coverage. If they do, can you, forward me to the department lead, and go from there, the department manager. And then the department manager may give you insight of who to talk to in contracts. But yeah, definitely shop around. I hope this video helped, and I will see you guys later in another video. I'm gonna put 2 up today. I'm gonna answer 2 questions. So I hope that this video was helpful in any way possible. Definitely shop around. Definitely don't be bamboozled and, taken for granted. Know your worth. Know what you're fighting for. If you have all those skill levels, then yes, they should be paying you a higher amount. But now they break it down to where you get a lower hourly salary and give you a higher stipend, so you could cover your cost and your food and your housing and things like that. So Again, thank you so much, and I hope this helped. Bye.